really blessed us with a lot.
Jesus.
This guy did enjoy life. Hey, someone take me to this island.
Kayana Island, a secluded island on the far side of the African coast.
So this guy is actually having the best time of his life on Kayana Island.
Koffo opened his eyes to the most beautiful sight he had seen since the death of his dear mother. Am I dead?
Yes, Koffo, you are dead. In fact, you're in a different planet. Because why? Tell me how realistic it is to be on an island alone with 300 women. Okay, so I know what you are thinking, but this African folktale isn't just about nude images. It's actually packed with many life lessons that can help you. So you might want to stick around to the very end.
Koffo opened his eyes to the most beautiful sight he had seen since the death of his dear mother. Am I dead? He asked in subtle surprise. 4 of the women laughed and blushed, biting their fingers. Not at all, good sir. You are a miracle to our island, and our prayers have been answered.
Alright, so Koffo was shipwrecked under the scorching sun on a vast ocean, and that is where 3 of the women from the island saved his life. They dragged him ashore and did everything to revive him. Since they had never seen any man for the past 7 years, this was a miracle. And if you ever schooled in a single-sex high school, you know what I'm talking about. So after 3 days of prayers and treatment, Koffo finally woke up. And this is where he gets to meet the leader of the 300 women on Kayana Island.
Where are all the men amongst you? Why so many women and no men or children? The chief among them introduced herself. I am Nana, the leader of Kayana Island. Koffo introduced himself and told the leader he was shipwrecked, avoiding to get too many details about himself until he was sure of his safety.
And that is where she explains why there are so many women on the island and no men.
Koffo, to answer your question, our husbands are very much alright.
Okay.
They have only gone through a trading journey which has taken quite a while, although we're expecting them before
really
the end
taking
of the
long.
month. Koffo felt a little at rest and went back into the leader's hut where he was being housed. The village women loaded Koffo with unending gifts, mostly various delicacies.
Oh my god, this guy is enjoying life. Hey!
From the island. Sorry, Mr. Koffo. You'll have to eat a whole lot of food.
Of course.
The island has really blessed us with a lot.
Jesus.
Hey! This guy did enjoy life. Hey, someone take me to this island.
But since you are the only man around, you're in luck, the leader said. Koffo was having the time of his life for about a week.
Oh yes, he was. He was having the time of his life.
Then he started spending time talking with Nana and the other women on the
I see the way he smiled 180 degrees from year to year. His mind is just
island. When he felt it was safe to share, he asked all the women to gather together.
Okay, so this is where Koffo shares his backstory before his shipwreck.
And shared his story. I was shipwrecked with my mother during a journey over the Atlantic. Only I and my mother, Rhoda, survived the shipwreck and were able to hang to a log of wood that floated us to a very small deserted island.
Okay.
The island only had trees, grasses, and rocks, but nobody on it. I was 6 years old when this happened, and my mother had to take care of me and did everything to keep me alive on that island. She taught me everything I know today. We ate shrubs and little fishes every now and then. She taught me how to swim. And with her training, I could hold my breath underwater for over 30 minutes.
Wow.
When I turned 12 years old, my mother fell sick and died within 2 months.
Oh.
I was devastated after burying her on the far side of the island. I stayed alone on the island for another 10 years, accustomed to isolation.
10 years alone on an island? Wow.
And feeding off the sea creatures. I thought of taking my life several times, but changed my mind at the last minute. I was tired and decided it was time to leave.
You must have been.
I cut down the tree that had grown and built the raft that you found me on. After staying afloat for several days, I was exhausted and waited for death to take me. That was when I arrived at your island. By the time he was done, almost half of the women were crying. Koffo felt really loved and promised them.
Women and emotions, I get it, but the story is very touching. The part where he spends 10 years alone on an island. How can anyone survive that? 10 years alone? Damn!
That he would do all he could to keep them safe until their husbands returned.
No, I'm just thinking.
You're a bad boy.
Okay.
So he could be part of the community.
Wow. Mami. Hey. Did you hear what he said? No, let me replay it. You didn't hear it. Let me replay it.
Loved and promised them
Let's go back.
at your island. By the time he was done, almost half of the women were crying. Koffo felt really loved and promised them that he would do all he could to keep them safe until their husbands returned.
Hey! Koffo promised to keep them safe until their husbands return. Hey, my man. You take care of them. I mean, you take care of them. You don't understand.
You're a bad
Turned so he could be part of the community.
Okay.
One morning, Koffo woke up to a commotion and was not allowed to step out.
Why?
Please, Koffo, stay down. It's for your own good.
Why should he stay down?
3 women guarded the door of the chief's hut with him inside.
Okay.
What's going on? He asked, but received no response. 7 extraordinarily beautiful women had swum up from the ocean and were walking into the village. The chief and some women approached them. What do you come here to do?
Yeah.
One of the 7 women spoke up. We smell the presence of a man here. Bring him to us immediately. The leader defied their request.
Bring him to us immediately. We smell the presence of a man. Do you remember the Sodom and Gomorrah vibes? Are you a Christian? Do you remember the story? He said, we smell the presence of a man among you. Bring him to us. What do they want with the man,
You have taken our men for the past 7 years. We don't know what you speak of. Please, leave us in peace. The leader of the 7 laughed and nodded to one of her team. With one giant leap, she flew into the air and landed right in front of the hut where Koffo was being held. Her powerful stomp as she landed shook the ground. A fight broke out immediately at the meeting point by the river.
I can imagine.
With the leader and the other women fighting furiously to ward off the intruders. Koffo stood confused and couldn't make sense of anything yet. With one wave of her hand, a heavy force blew the door and its frame open where Koffo was held. The woman walked
Superwoman, calm down, Superwoman, be calming down. Hey.
majestically into the tent and headed straight for Koffo as he lay on the ground in confusion. 2 of the 3 women guarding her charged at the intruder with their spears, but with one wave of her hand, which was half covered in scales, both women were cut down by an invisible force. Koffo's defense.
Oh my god, no, this is actually getting serious. Oh. Yes, the story is just getting serious. I mean, Pleasure Island is just turning to some murder island. Look at the blood dripping from her hands.
Instincts quickly kicked in, and he grabbed one of the spears beside him. With a powerful strike, he landed a blow on the intruder, piercing straight through her. Koffo leaped out of the hut and headed toward the other women, still engaging Nana by the shore in a fierce fight. As he ran towards them, he could see about 6 bodies of his women already laying dead on the ground.
Wow.
In anger, he swung the spear at the target in the midst of the commotion. Another perfect strike hit another of the intruders as she screamed in pain. The leader of the intruders instantly reckoned that the man was a death bringer and signaled her comrades. All 5 of them leaped into the air and landed in the ocean. They emerged one last time to take a better look at their attackers and the stranger who had dealt with them. Koffo stood proudly with his broad chest shining in the sunlight and stared at them in the water. They had transformed
Oh my god, look at their eyes.
into their true nature, vile-looking creatures with eyes that could see through a man's soul.
Oh. I thought this was a pleasure story. it's just blowing my mind right now. Yes, and the story was just getting started. There's a lot of plot twists and lessons to be learned from this guy. So I'll leave a link in the description below. Do check it out. That will be that for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next reaction.